Maybe I'm being naive and, seeing a silver lining here, but I did talk to Ron Wyden, the Democrat of Oregon, who may head the Senate Finance Committee or be the ranking minority member, and Kevin Brady, who heads Ways and Means. And they both said there's so much outrage out there over Trump's not paying any taxes that the wind is really at the back of people who want to finally reform the tax code in a way that's fair.
You go down that road and you hope that would be the case, I think, or many people certainly would hope it would.
So. I admit, I hope so.
And so many deductions, so many things, and yet you seem to get caught in this morass that makes it virtually impossible, because you have to not just do individual, you have to do corporate, and there's competing.
Well, it's all just crying out for reform, but I think that the key is when they start getting down into the weeds, that's when the battles break out and they all fall apart. But what I was really struck by in talking to both sides is, if you look at the big picture architecture, both sides are quite close. They want to simplify the tax code. Both the Democrats and Republicans have proposed reducing to 3 brackets. They want to simplify capital gains. They disagree exactly at what rate you would tax it, but the philosophy is the same, and they want to cut the corporate income tax. Now, those are like the big issues. So if they can agree on that, could they somehow just decide, like, let's just push the details and agree we'll work those out somehow? I mean, it's really, it's tragic to me that they have not been able to do anything to now.
I love that you're talking about taxes when we're talking about FBI scandals on one side and treatment of women. No, it's good. But the problem is the way these two candidates are painting their tax proposals are polar opposites. I mean, the simple narrative is Hillary wants to raise taxes on the rich and Donald Trump wants to cut taxes on the rich and corporations. So how can you possibly find a common ground there, no matter who's president?
Well, here's something interesting. Neither presidential candidate has really put forward a coherent reform plan. I mean, Trump's plan, if you can call it a plan, even Republicans say this is ridiculous. I mean, it doesn't even attempt to reach any kind of balance in the federal budget. It has crazy ideas in it, like, you get to immediately deduct expenses, but we're also going to deduct interest expenses. Hillary Clinton has a bevy of specific proposals, mostly aimed at increasing taxes on the wealthy, but they're not a structural reform. To me, again, I'm seeing the glass half full here. There's room for compromise. They both kind of left it to their congressional parties, and the House Republicans have put forward this, way forward. You can see it on the internet. It's very coherent. It's very clear. You can disagree with the specific rates on it. The philosophy, though, is very clear. And as I said, it's not that different from what Senator Wyden came up with in the past.
Well, it's going to be on the agenda. I mean, Jim, I've had conversations with people close to the Clinton camp for months and months now, who've indicated, at least, and those who are on Wall Street who support or believe corporate tax reform will be one of the first agenda items if she's elected.
Yeah, well, I've talked to the Clinton camp too, and Mrs. Clinton herself, if she's elected, has said she wants to somehow unify things. And people say, well, that's hopeless. But let me tell you, one area where I think you could actually make a big step forward towards unifying this country is in the tax area. I mean, we've got almost uniform agreement that this thing is a mess, and it's not fair. It's not, maximizing growth and revenue, and it's ripe for improvement.
Except there's a lot of lobbyists and a lot of money at stake, and it's just hard to imagine a process that doesn't end up with things going awry.
Well, I agree.
Sorry,
look, we haven't had it since 1986.
Right.
It did happen. It could maybe happen again. I mean, I realize that was a different era. It wasn't as polarized. It clearly is going to take some willingness, when the rhetoric of the election cools off, of people to say, well, maybe we actually should work together.
Also, the Treasury argues that the
people.
Apple case, that the fact that now European governments are going after U.S. corporate taxes, adds some urgency and some unification to this issue.
Right, and even if they can't do everything at once, at least break a piece of this off and say, like on corporate taxes, something has to be done here, and we can do it. I'm hungry for Congress to do something that benefits the American economy and American people, and I think everybody is.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the I right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.